Hello, 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 beautiful people. It's your girl, Shonna, and as promised, I am here with the virtual book club. I'm just waiting for you guys to come on board so I can get the virtual book club going. So when you guys come on, just so you can know, I am going to need you all to share the video because I am not able to share it because I am using my phone because I'm away, and I just need you to share the video. So when you come on board, just say something so I can know that you are here. Be sure to share the video so we can get started. I'm in Georgia. I'm in what part of Georgia? Alpharetta, Georgia. And it's beautiful down here. I got to tell you guys, I'm really liking it. I'm feeling it. There's some weird stuff I started to see, but other than that, I'm really feeling Georgia area. Black people down here are really doing their thing. This is like a little mini Black Wall Street. I love it. I really do like it down here. So I'm really thinking about, relocating down here. I'm being serious. My husband isn't know this yet, so I'm telling y'all for the first time, but I would really like to consider relocating down here because they on and popping down here. Black folk is doing some serious things down here, and I'm loving it. Hey, Marva, peace and blessings to you too. Marva, be sure to share the video because I'm at a different time and I know people are not realizing that I'm on. So I'm really going to need you guys' help today to put the message out there so I can go ahead and get started. We are still on Dr. Boyce Watkins. I think it's kind of backwards, right? Because I'm using my phone, but it's the financial lovemaking, merging assets with your partner in ways that feel good. We are reviewing that for the virtual book club. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I already have a meeting. I'm meeting with some people down here in Georgia. Some people are on the book club. Some people are just faithful supporters. Some people are friends, followers, whatever the case is. I'm going to meet with them, have a little group session with them and try to help people structure their businesses if they already have a business in place. And if they don't have a business in place, I'm going to help people to get started in making money because it's not really that complicated. I think we just complicate the process so I can teach people to duplicate what I did so that they can be successful. And so I can't wait to meet with them tonight. And for that reason, let me get going with this virtual book club so that I can leave out of here, drive to Marietta, sit down and meet some awesome people over some food, over some drinks, whatever we're going to do, and have a conversation and really just build and plan together as one unity in love. That's awesome. Not everybody is so angry. Not everybody doesn't want to meet. I use Facebook for real purposes. All right. So it's a great thing. So let's get going. There's no point in judging someone else's financial position if you are not in a good one yourself. Financial lovemaking involves the merging of two financial bodies. And if your body is not at its peak, then your mate may naturally question their desire to merge with you. Similar to when you are considering a physical merger, you might find that a trip to the gym is in order. In addition to trips to the gym, you might also want to take a peek at your eating habits, or in other words, what you're putting into your financial body. So basically what Dr. Boyce Watkins is saying here is, before you go getting all serious with somebody and joining your finances with a person, you really got to consider your own finances and your own situation, whether it's your debt, your credit score, whatever the case is. So before you come into the table scrutinizing somebody else's debt or someone else's money situation, their financial management, their credit, make sure your credit is in order. Because when we come into a relationship and we want to get serious with a relationship, we want to build and grow in a relationship, we have to really make sure that our money, our credit, our debt is in order. We can't be coming to the table half stepping and expecting the next person to be better than what we are. It doesn't work that way. So basically what he's saying is to get yourself in order first before you try to scrutinize somebody else's money or somebody else's credit. Some people want to merge their finances with someone else so that they can erase the mistakes and flaws in their own lives. On one hand, this makes sense, since relationships should be complementary. On the other hand, it can also be interpreted as parasitic. First, there could be guilt of ruining someone else's credit because you have not taken care of your own. or perhaps causing someone else to have to deal with the horrifically high debt that you have created. So when you get into a relationship with somebody, he's basically saying, don't be a parasite. Don't leech off the other person. Make sure your stuff is in order. And you have to watch for people who are parasites, because they will get in relationship with you because they know that their money is funny and their change is strange. They know that they haven't been doing everything that they're supposed to do on the back end. So when people are looking at you, trust me, whether it's a male or a female, this goes for both sexes. It's not either or. When we are looking for somebody to get into a relationship with, they are examining who we are and who we are not. So if you are a female and you're looking to mate somebody, you better believe that he's examining your pedigree. He wants to know how much money you make, what your credit is like, how you are spending that money. People do monitor the person that they are considering courting for real, dating for real, marrying for real. Just like that, a woman is also looking at the man in the same way. Can he provide for a family? Does he have finances? Do he have good credit? You have to look at these kind of things. It has nothing to do with being a gold digger or not. It's about making sure you don't jump into bed with somebody without knowing what's fully under the covers. Right? You don't want to get in bed with somebody who's missing a leg, they ain't got no penis working, all this other stuff, because you don't know anything about them. You want to examine that person before you decide to get in bed with them, financially and sexually. You get what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what he's talking about. Hey, Empire. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Alisa, how are you? So he goes on to say, I recommend not considering having financial sex until you are ready. Getting ready doesn't necessarily mean increasing your income. Since income isn't everything, it means spending time working on your own financial habits before getting someone else involved. Spending time working on your own financial habit before getting somebody else involved. How are you going to get into a relationship with someone else and your credit is jacked up? Or you spend money like it's going on out of style and don't have any money in your savings account? How are you going to have a relationship with someone else and you are messed up? You have to get yourself in order first before you can entertain anybody else. As you work to change who you are, the last thing you want to hear is someone in your ear about the mistakes you've made and everything else you are doing wrong. At least that's not something I would personally want to hear. It doesn't mean that you can't get married. It just means that you might want to consider taking some time to work on you before working on we. If each of you is in good shape, then we are going to be just fine. So we really do have to examine who we are getting in bed with. We have to make sure we are both doing what we have to do. And this is not about us just, this is not about us just checking out what the other person is doing. This is about us making sure we get ourselves in order. I have included a list of some things that you might want to think about before deciding to mix your finances with another person. The list is not exhaustive, but it is certainly a good start. There are questions about your financial body that you might want to ask to determine whether or not you are ready to have good financial sex with your partner. So he goes on, he learns some other stuff. So we're not going to go through all of them tonight for the sake of time, but we are going to go over financial body question number 1. So I want us to really listen to this because number 2 is really, really long and it's going to really require me to break it down and spend time with you guys on that. So I'm not going to go over number 2 today. I'm going to stop at number 1. But number 1 is, are your savings habits as bad as the rest of America? Are your savings habits as bad as the rest of America? Americans do not save their money. In 2006, the U.S. savings rate was actually negative. What does this mean? It means that Americans were borrowing more than they were saving. The only thing that protected them from financial hardship was the fact that their home values were appreciating so quickly. In a USA Today and New York Times story, I stated that Americans are broke for the same reasons we are fat. We don't choose to have discipline. Now, this is not an attack on those who are overweight or need to lose some weight. I can stand to lose a few pounds too. This is not an attack. Basically, what he's saying is, in America as a whole, we are not disciplined in our eating habits. No matter where you go, you turn around a corner, there's there's an alcohol store, there is a fast food restaurant, Chinese food, unhealthy things everywhere you go in America. And so because of that, even though we know, as Americans, we know that we shouldn't eat these greasy foods. We shouldn't eat trans fat. We shouldn't eat carrageenan. We shouldn't eat. There's so many things in our food that we know we should not eat, but still we do it. Just like money. We know we should be saving our money. We know we should invest our money so that we can duplicate it and let it grow. We know that we should be multiplying our money, but yet we don't do it. And that's what Dr. Boyce Watkins is saying in reference to how Americans are with their money. We know we should be saving, but we're not. How many of us have 6 months worth of saving? If something was to go down tomorrow, can you make sure your household stays afloat? Some of us can do it, but not all of us can do it. Why? Why? Because too many of us, not all of us, but too many of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and we are not saving our money. We are spending our money as opposed to putting it away and learning how to invest so that we can multiply our money. I am not making judgments about the spending habits of Americans. Okay, maybe I am, but they are not harsh judgments. My mother always told me that you can pretty much do whatever you want as long as you are prepared to endure the consequences of your choice. The consequences of poor savings habits is that you are really putting yourself and your family at risk of financial devastation. If something goes wrong with your job or your car breaks down, you are basically up the creek without a paddle. This is not rocket science. Saving money is not about expertise. It's about having the common sense to simply keep more money in your pocket than you spend every month. Here are some quick tips how you can start a savings program. Hey guys, I see y'all going. Hey Keith, how are you doing? Oh yes, I'm not trying to lie about money. I'm just trying to say we got to save money. We got to be disciplined with the way we eat, and we have to be disciplined with the way we save. We can't keep going around this place being all nilly-willy thinking that we have forever in a day. We don't have forever in a day. And so many of us are dropping dead at young ages because we are not disciplined in our eating habits. Just like our savings, we are dropping dead with no life insurance policy. Stupid stuff. So now you leave a burden on your family to have to bury you. Lucky that's your family, not me, because I'll put you in a wooden box. Hell, I'll let the government burn you. You have to save your money. You have to invest your money because this is not about just you anymore. It's not about just me anymore. It is about our family. It is about our children and our children's children. And we know these things. I talk about savings all the time. Dr. Boyce Watkins talks about savings all the time. A lot of people talk about savings all the time, but too many of us continue not to do it. We continue not to do it. So here's tip number 1. Create a budget and pay yourself first. Now, pay yourself first doesn't mean you go out there and buy your red bottoms, your Jordans, your Gucci bag, your Beats headphones. That's not what paying yourself first is. And people think that way. They're like, oh, I can't wait till I get paid. No, not so you can go buy hair. Don't be silly. That's not what we do. You pay yourself first. So let me tell you how you pay yourself first. If you do not know where money is going, then it's hard to figure out where it went. Keep a budget if you are not already doing so. If you are not sure how to create a budget, visit Dr. Boyce Watkins' site. It is www.boyce, mindfinanceprofessor.com. It shows you how to do it step by step. When you make your monthly or weekly budget, take out your savings. That's paying yourself first. Take out your savings before you take out anything for bills or personal spending. Your financial health is more important than anyone else's. And if you don't put yourself first on your personal payroll, then who will? So just like some people, they will put their tithe, if they go to church, right? They'll put their tithe aside, their 10%, no matter what. They know on Sunday they're paying their tithe. You have to have the same mindset for yourself. You are your church. Pay yourself your tithe. Put your 10% away. Put it away. So you have to get in a habit of before you spend anything, even before you pay your gas and light bill, before you pay your mortgage or your rent, before you go grocery shopping, put that money away in a savings account or some other. We're going to talk about how you can put money away, but you need to take it out first and save it. Not so you can go ahead and buy a $500 hair, but so that you can start to build your money so you can later invest your money to multiply it. Because just saving it, as I said in plenty of my videos I talk about, saving it in a bank account is not enough. It's okay to put it there to start, but we're never going to keep our money in a bank account because it only yields garbage as an APR. You can go ahead and Google what is yielding me. What, 0.3, 0.4%? Not even 0.4, 0.03 or 0.04%, something garbage like that. We're never going to keep our money in a savings account, but we need to start somewhere. So it's okay to put it in a savings account until we accumulate that money. We need to start making investments. Make sense? So tip number 2, put the money in a place that makes it difficult for you to get it. Put the money in a place that makes it difficult for you to get it. I suggest using a mutual fund or a bank CD. Now, I'm not fond of these things. I'm not fond of CDs. Oh my God, because the return is garbage. You get like 50 cents back. But if it's to discipline you, to keep you from spending it, put it in a CD. Even if it's only $500, we have to get ourselves disciplined, get ourselves in a habit of putting money away. I don't care if you buy 5 CDs. Once you accumulate $500, we can start small. You can get a CD for $200. Once we accumulate a certain amount of money, take that money out and tie it up in a CD, because that is going to discipline you. And the way it's going to discipline you is because if you take it out before the agreed upon time, you will get penalized with a fee. So you don't want to do that. So that's the way you get this. I remember that's how I first started saving money. One of my many videos that had went viral is one where I moved my money out of a white bank into a black owned bank. And I remember that day I had to wait to get approvals on the checks. I had to get 2 signatures because I moved a large amount of money out. And I looked at myself. I said, self, you did damn good. Being a squirrel is a good thing. I know I told you guys my husband calls me a squirrel, but I was proud of myself because I saved such a large amount of money and I was able to move it to the point where people just was like, wow, you was able to do that? Hell yeah, because I got goals, right? But was I happy that I was putting it in another bank? Just for that moment, because I had to take time to figure out what was I going to do with that money? How was I going to reinvest that money to multiply it even more? And so when you have that kind of plan by creating a budget, when you have that kind of plan and a vision, it's okay to put your money in a bank that way. Now, the bank I chose, it did not have ATM cards, and it actually is only very few locations. So I didn't want an ATM card, never received one. And so if I wanted to get that, I still have not touched that money. And it's in an interest bearing checking account. I still haven't touched it. But if I wanted to touch that money, I would have to physically get up and go a few towns over from out of my town to that town in a neighborhood I'm not too fond of. I really don't want to get out my car over there if I can help it. And I damn sure ain't moving large amount of cash constantly out of that community. But I put it there for a reason, so I won't touch it until I was ready to invest it. And that is the money that I'm using to open up my school next year, 2018, to start teaching children. So now I'm not teaching, I'm hiring people. But the point is, if I did not discipline myself, I would not be able to do that. And I did not get that large amount of money overnight. I got it by saving, by paying myself first and being a squirrel and not touching the money. I got it by being disciplined. And that's pretty much what he is saying. You got to be disciplined. Number 3, set savings goals for yourself and write them down every other day if you have to. Set savings goals for yourself and write them down every other day if you have to. Remind yourself that you are striving for something that is going to be good for your personal, financial, and emotional well-being. You are doing this for yourself, your mate, and your future family. It's worth building your financial future. Setting goals will help you stay focused and motivated as you proceed on your financial journey. So what do your financial goals look like? What do it look like? If you wanted to set up, like I did, a school, opening up a school, you have to know how much money you're going to need to do that, to get it started. Now, I'm not saying anything big and elaborative. I'm all about starting small and then growing it bigger. I'm good for that. So you have to have a vision and you have to have goals, because if not, if you're just saving money, you're eventually going to spend it. If you have no goals, no vision on what you want to do with that money, you will eventually spend it. So while you're setting up your budget, make sure you have goals. Even if you add things onto your goals, change it around, move it, it's okay. Revisit your goals daily if you have it. Revisit it weekly, monthly, biannual. Who cares? Just as long as you have a vision and goals. Because when we lack vision, when we do not have vision, we lose focus. I'm going to say that again. When we lack vision, when we do not have vision, we lose focus. It is always important to have a vision, even in your relationships. Even if you want to get married, if you want to improve your current marriage, if you want to improve the relationship with the person you are in, whether you're married or not, it doesn't matter. You have to have a vision. Every time I work with couples in my practice, I ask them what are the relationship goals and what is the relationship vision. And so many people don't have it. So many people don't have it. And we work it out right there in session, because I realize in order for you to be successful in anything, you have to have a vision and you have to have goals. So again, in finances, make sure you have a vision and make sure you have a goal in terms of your money, because if you're just saving it with no vision and no goals, you will eventually spend it. Okay? Number 4, be consistent. Be consistent. Put your savings on autopilot and even consider having the money taken directly out of your paycheck. It will probably make it much easier to see the money grow if you have forgotten about it. Don't check on the balance every week. Just pretend that it's another line item being taken out of your paycheck by the federal government. So true. Get it just deducted out of your check. Get it deducted. If you're in business, you're going to have to discipline yourself to just put the money away, unless you're like me and you're on payroll. Like I have a payroll system. So taxes are taken out automatically, so the IRS don't hit me at the end of the year till I owe them $14,000, right? So you have to be consistent. So with me, I take the money out of my check and I send it to the 3 different bank accounts that I have. One is the joint bank account that my husband and I have that's solely for bills. Another one is that I have set up for myself, for my slush fund. And then the third one I have set up is solely for my daughter's educational purposes and my son's. So people always ask me, how are you able to pay that kind of tuition for your daughter? Because she goes to Ivy League school. I've been saving that money from day one. I don't spend my income tax money either. When I get a return on my income tax, I don't spend it. I deposit that whole check into the educational fund. So we have to be disciplined in that way. I didn't have it for the whole year, so I'm not going to miss it. Right? So what I do is the minute I get it is in the money. Even if I get like blessed with some money, if a portion of one of my businesses go well and I get an extra amount of money, I don't just splurge on that money. I take it away and I put it in a place where I'm not going to have access, whether it's the educational fund, whether it is the business fund for the future developments in business, whatever it is, we have to be consistent, and putting that on autopilot is being consistent. Just like people who tithe, they know every Sunday what they are going to give. You need to do the same thing. If you can do that to give it to your pastor, you can do that to give it to yourself. You should be doing it to give it to yourself. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you have to get yourself in a position to be consistent. Without a vision and without goals, there is no way on God's green earth you're going to be able to be consistent. All right. So your vision and your goals must come before the consistency. So number 5, consider unconventional ways to save. So Dr. Boyce Watkins says, when he had a problem saving as a kid, he used to give his money to his grandmother so that she can hold it for him. That was a good move for him because his grandmother was the kind of person who would slice your hands off for a nickel. Don't you love the way he speaks? Oh my gosh. But nonetheless, she would hold on to money for 6 months to 1 year, and then Dr. Boyce Watkins would get it back in a nice large lump sum. That is the same type of strategy to use with the CD. If you put your money in a CD, you can't touch it. You can get a 6-month CD, a 9-month CD, a 15-month CD, depending on the bank that you're banking with. You can get CDs in different increments, right? So you have to keep it there for that amount of time that you contracted to keep it there. And at the end of that time, then you could take it out. I would say at the end of that time, don't take it out. Buy another one until you know exactly what you're going to do with that money to multiply it. The only time we take our money out of savings, that the savings that we're saving to be saving, is if we're going to multiply it. Invest in it. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in his book, just not today. But we have to learn how to invest our money so that we can watch the money multiply. All right, because we can watch it grow by just putting it in a savings account. If you put $50 every week, in a month you have $200. So we can naturally watch it grow, but it's about multiplying. How do you take that $200 and flip it to $400? That's really what it's about. You can do that over time with savings, but it might take you 2 months to get $400 out of $200, where you might be able to flip it faster and turn around and get $800, $1,000 by investing it. Right? So we have to really consider those things. Another unconventional way to save money. Listen to this. A lot of people ain't going to like this, but oh my God, it works like a charm. Another unconventional way to save money is to consider adding a few extra dollars to your IRS withholding. The IRS withholding is a line item you fill out on your W-9 form with your employer. They ask you if you would like extra money taken out of your paycheck to be saved for your taxes. Some people might consider this an interest-free loan to the government, but getting your money back without the interest is better than spending your money and not having anything to show for it. The steps in learning to save are baby ones, so you can expect yourself to be perfect right off the bat. You can't expect yourself to be perfect right off the bat. Anything that moves you closer to spending less than you earn is a good thing. So the IRS withholding. Now, y'all know my husband's an accountant, so we know about this stuff. And some people might say, I don't want to do that. But if you are the kind of person, even if you put your money in a bank account that's in Timbuktu, making it difficult, if you are an undisciplined person, if you are a person who is a spendaholic, that has a shopping problem, who burns money quickly, I don't care if your money is in South Africa, you will figure out a way how to get your money. However, if you choose or elect, to be more fancy with my words, if you choose to have the IRS withhold more money out of your check, you will get that all back at the end of tax time, because you already know what you have to pay in taxes, right? So if you are like, let's say if you're a single person, you just put single 0, a single 1, so that you can come closer to paying the taxes that is expected of you. Of course, if you have deductions like a business, property, whatever the case is, dependents, whatever the case is, you're going to get money back regardless. But if you put a little bit extra more money in there, your refund check would just be bigger at the end of the year. So yes, you're not getting the interest on it, but you're disciplining yourself. You're taking the money away and you're not having access to the money, which makes it a lot better than putting it in a bank that you think you're tricking yourself, but when you get desperate, you're going to go right to the bank and get that money out. You get what I'm saying? So these are the kind of things that we have to really consider so that we can learn how to be disciplined in our approach when it comes to money. And at the end of the day, the better we are financially, the better we are to get into a relationship with someone else. You don't want to enter into a relationship with somebody if your credit is jacked up or your money is funny and your change is strange, because then you just add more stress into the relationship. So these are just simple ways that you can get on a financial diet so you can look lean and look your best. So when you meet the mate that you want, you are in a better position to entertain them. And if you are already in a marriage, if you are already in a relationship that is committed, you guys are living together, have children together, have assets together, whatever the case is, and you want to get better at your savings, you don't always have to beat your spouse or your partner over the head trying to get them on board too. Just worry about you. And even if you don't have an income, if your partner is the sole winner, whenever that partner gives you money, you need to just be saving that money. Whenever you get your side hustles going on, we're going to talk about that too. When you get your side hustles going on and you get a little bit of money, somebody's paying you $100 because you did their hair or their daughter's hair, whatever the case is, don't go spend that $100. Go ahead and save it. Save it, because I do realize that some people are stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home wives, so they may not have an income, but that is no excuse not to save. Just because you are a stay-at-home don't mean you can't find ways to make money and save money. All right? And especially if your husband gives you the money to manage, you better take money out that check and save it, boo. Of course, you got to save it for the family. But I'm saying if you have a husband or a wife that's undisciplined, make sure you saving that money. Because you don't want hard times to come up on you and then everybody is SOL. Everybody's out of luck because they didn't save for a rainy day. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Let's see what's being said. Thank you guys so much. Share the video with everyone else. I will be back on here on Monday when I get back to New Jersey. Wish me luck in Georgia as I am here. Let me go ahead and call the people I'm meeting, because I'm going to have a business coaching session with them so I can teach them how to build their business and duplicate their money, because it really is about duplicating your money. If you don't duplicate your money, what you doing this for? Don't die broke. Because it's not about you, it's about your family and the future generations to come after you. So thank you so much, guys. I love you guys. And look at me. I kept my commitment by coming on to talk to you guys. Be blessed, and I wish you all the best.